Hello, thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your in-depth horoscope forecast for week commencing the 19th of August for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be grateful if you did so now. This week begins with a shift of emphasis beginning to take shape. Late last week, Mars, the planet of drive, moved into the sign of Virgo. Now, this is a bit counterintuitive because Mars is about the individual. It's about our desire to get instant gratification. It's a more masculine energy. Of course, Virgo is the virgin. It is about sacrifice and purity. But Mars in this area can see us able to work harder, sustain our efforts in a much more focused way, and look for tangible results. Now, Mars is going to be joined on Wednesday by Venus. Now, Venus in the sign of Virgo is also quite self-sacrificing. And then they're both joined on Friday by the Sun, which returns to Virgo for the first time in 11 months. Now, in the last phase of this week, the three are going to be together. So we have a stellium. And this is going to be fascinating because they're also going to be linking to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So we have this greater emphasis on the things that require our attention to detail and where we need to be thorough and precise and discriminating, which all comes from that Virgo energy. But there's also a push to be creative, inventive, and a bit spontaneous, which is coming from the energy from Uranus. Also, as we enter into this week, we still have the backdrop of last week's Venus-infused full moon, which occurred in the sign of Aquarius. So we were already being asked to juggle our priorities and manage our time, especially in a social or romantic context. So I think what this Virgo energy is going to ask us to do is really focus. And the interesting thing also is there is a quarter moon on Friday in the sign of Gemini, which could see us tempted, because of the Virgo energy, to almost be too virtuous and to try to pack in so much at the end of this week that we actually end up spreading ourselves too thinly. So really prioritizing on what's really important is going to be really helpful. And the other thing that's happening this week is that Mercury, now it's going forwards in the sign of Leo, is actually forging a superb angle to Jupiter. So Jupiter, of course, is in Sagittarius, itself going forwards. So if there is a scheme which requires us to think big, be positive, but apply ourselves in a very precise way, which is supported by this Virgo energy, well, we're certainly getting it all together. But it's important to understand that the stellium between the Sun and Venus also links with Mars, and that's quite a sultry combination. So it may say us orientated in some way with our passions to do something that can be good for someone or good for a relationship, but especially where we can think of another person's needs and be a bit more thoughtful or practical in the way that we help them. Your specific forecast, Cancer, has seen a big emphasis on your sector of resources recently, but also on life's delightful pleasures. So whether you've been enjoying some lush meals, some homegrown or organic vegetables, if you like to live your life in a more simple way, or you've been spending some money on some nice treats, or getting up close and personal to someone, that more sensual vibe has come from the role of Venus. And Venus, of course, was conjunct the Sun when we had the full moon last week. So if the desire for extravagance has got a little bit of the better of you of late, I think this week you're still going to find yourself wanting to just balance the books. However, there is going to be a change of emphasis because, of course, late last week, Mars moved into your sector of everyday thoughts. This is an area which, in a physical sense, can see you more active, but it's joined by Venus on Wednesday and the Sun on Friday. Expect your life to speed up. This can be in terms of your thinking, your plans, even your articulation. You may find yourself in a passionate discussion as this week draws to a close. There is a quarter moon on Friday, on the same day the sun moves, however, and this just suggests that if any ideas or thoughts do come up into your mind, it may be that you just need to hold back from instantly expressing them. But because you are quite thoughtful about saying how you feel, that might be less of a problem for you. It's possible that someone's going to share with you a little bit of gossip or a juicy tidbit that it's probably best to turn the other cheek to. However, Mercury, the planet of communication, has moved back into the sign of Leo and is forging a marvellous link with Jupiter. So if you are still wanting to improve your financial lot, I think that combination can see you with a positive frame of mind, but in some way applying it with precision. So if you can find the balance between those two, then you can stay grounded, get beyond Venus's grip somewhat, that's been on your situation for all of this month so far. Not that that's been a necessarily bad thing, but I think it has been perhaps a bit more of an extravagant phase, even if in modest ways. So the trend really is towards quicker thinking, more action in terms of your physical movements, and the potential to get together and connect with people, perhaps indeed with a sibling or neighbours that you feel comfortable with. If you're interested in personal astrology and would like to know more based on your time, date and place of birth, why not click on my store beneath this video? If you buy a forecast for a year and a character analysis, I'll give you a 30% discount, or you can choose to talk to me personally with a one-to-one live consultation. But for now, good luck and goodbye.